to ABC31 News tonight. I'm Scott Beadle. Come Together Locally is a new localism campaign launched by the Central Louisiana Regional Chamber of Commerce. ABC31's Joanna Phillips has the story tonight.
Designed to promote local establishments and the economic impact of shopping, dining, and doing business with locally owned companies. A press conference was held at the Chamber building to reveal the campaign, its overall purpose, and an introductory TV spot.
It's something that, our local businesses have been wanting and needing in this community. So we're giving that to them here with this type of brand. We want everyone to rally behind these businesses, and we want them to really understand why we're putting on this campaign.
Local business owners consider their impact on the community's quality of life and often take actions they believe are the right thing to do, even if it does not maximize their profit in some instances. Local owners are identifiable, accessible, and accountable in our community.
The campaign has two phases. Phase 1 will focus on social media promotions and multiple aspects of advertisement. The second phase will launch an app designed to facilitate online sales and promotions for local businesses. Visit ComeTogetherLocally.com to find out more about this new campaign in Central Louisiana. Joanna Phillips, ABC 31 News.
Crime Stoppers needs your help locating a man wanted for the break-in last week at South Circle Pawn in Alexandria. They said the man took a large number of guns. If you can help, you might be eligible for a reward. Please call Crime Stoppers at 443-7867. Again, that's 443-STOP. Alexandria police have arrested 6 people for the shooting death last week of a teen on Duhan Lane. They include 17-year-old Brian Booker Allen, 19-year-old Marcel Jones, 17-year-old Denarius Roy, and 19-year-old Devontae Chisholm, all of Alexandria. 2 juveniles ages 16 and 14 were also arrested. That victim was 19. Rapids deputies are investigating a shooting that happened Friday night in the Wardville area. They say the 17-year-old victim was shot while walking in the area of Bayou Maria and Radio Roads. Detectives are asking for help if anyone knows anything about this incident. That victim was released from the hospital. A Union Parish man was arrested by Alexandria police over the weekend for his 4th DWI. He's 27-year-old James Rowland of Farmerville. Officers say Rowland was on a motorcycle and was stopped on North MacArthur. He was also not wearing a helmet. Sentinel residents came together last night to remember loved ones lost to murder. Sheriff William Earl Hilton spoke to the families and friends and shared his own personal experience with dealing with a lost loved one. The sheriff sympathized with them and let them know that law enforcement will never forget the murders they've had to investigate. This year, families used glow sticks instead of candles to represent the lights that each victim left behind with them. The families and friends of the victims shared memories and supported one another in their grief. Alexandria police need your help finding Renisha Trader. She's a 16-year-old who's been missing since yesterday. She was last seen at her home on Riverbend Place. She is 5 feet tall, weighs about 105 pounds. Please don't call police if you can help out. Well, we are not getting a break from this hot weather, at least not yet. Meteorologist Ross Whitley is here with a first look at our forecast.
Very warm out there once again today, feeling like the middle of summer as opposed to the beginning of fall. 91 degrees officially today, 66 last night. We did drop down considerably considering our dew points were up in the 70s late last night. We dropped down to 66. And even some patchy fog recorded out there early this morning. 86 and 73 is where we should be for this time of year. And of course, I don't expect us to get up to the 98 set back in 2005. But if you remember last year, we were still holding on to the heat. And by the end of this week, I promise, while it might not be much cooler out there, it's going to be much, much drier with our dew points. And it's going to make those temperatures feel so much better. Of course, I'll have all the details about that and what you can expect coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Ross. Louisiana soybean farmers are more than halfway through their harvest, and they're finding out this year's wet weather is affecting the quality of the crop. LSU Ag Center correspondent Craig Gautreaux has the story.
Louisiana soybean farmers are taking advantage of dry weather to harvest a crop that has seen its share of wet weather, harmful insects, and damaging diseases. Farmers are seeing decent yields, but the quality of the crop has suffered.
Growers were We're satisfied with the yields. They weren't anything great, but they weren't terrible considering what we'd gone through. A lot of growers are still averaging close to 70 bushels. So the biggest issue this year wasn't necessarily in a reduction of yield, it was a reduction of quality and increased damage at the grain elevator.
Tropical Storm Harvey was one factor that contributed to a decrease in quality. Beans that were ready to harvest and exposed to the elements when the storm arrived suffered the most losses.
They had the most damage. We saw grain at the elevator with 40 to even up to 60% damage. That was on the extreme side. The majority of it was anywhere from 15 to 25.
Fortunately, those beans only made up a small portion of the state's 1.3 million acres. Experts expect the state average to be somewhere around 50 bushels an acre, making it an average crop. Considering how trying the growing season was, many are surprised at the results.
With the weather that we've had and everything these beans have gone through, that's not unexpected and honestly a little better than a lot of folks expected going into it.
Spivey expects the bulk of the state's harvest will be completed by mid-October, but some late planted beans may not be ready until November. With the LSU Ag Center, this is Craig Gautreaux reporting.
Soybeans are a significant contributor to Louisiana's economy and had a total economic value of more than $650 million last year. Congressman Ralph Abraham delivered a speech on the House floor Monday recognizing 6 football players from Winfield Senior High School. Thomas Edward Hunter, a World War II veteran, had died at the age of 93 on September 12th. Hunter had no close family or pallbearers for his funeral. After hearing about this situation, the players from Winfield volunteered to serve as pallbearers for that funeral, which included full military honors. Congressman Abraham stated in his speech, quote, "I think the actions of these young men speaks volumes about what's truly important: country, community, family, God." An Alexandria native currently serving in the Navy was recently promoted to Chief Petty Officer, an accomplishment that only 1 in 5 eligible sailors achieve each year. Navy Chief Culinary Specialist Brian Flournoy was chosen to receive that title. According to Navy Personnel Command, there are only 8.5% of sailors currently serving at the Chief Petty Officer rank. Flournoy says becoming a chief is what every sailor dreams about. New Jersey native Colonel Douglas Matriano spoke to the Rotary Club today about Russia posing a threat to the U.S., as well as several other world issues.
There's a lot of problems in the world, and I know we're focused on North Korea and what have you, but also Russia poses a threat to the United States. And without going to war to them, we can remain strong and vigilant and preserve the peace.
Matriano says the peace that we now have has been won over 2 world wars and preserved by the NATO alliance. The U.S. is working together with NATO allies to make sure Russia does not make any drastic moves. The 60th annual Miss Northwestern Lady of the Bracelet pageant was held Saturday at Northwestern State University. Erica Jarlock of Covington was selected as the winner. Jarlock is a junior theater major with a concentration in musical theater and dance, along with being involved in numerous university organizations. She'll receive more than $8,000 in scholarships and prizes and represent NSU at the Miss Louisiana pageant coming up in June.
To you, it's just an old coat, but to an underprivileged child, it's a warmer winter. Please help us collect coats for kids before the cold months get here. You can drop off new or gently used coats at a location near you. All coats are cleaned and distributed right here in our community. The KLAX Coats for Kids Drive is sponsored by First Federal Bank, Southern Heritage Bank, Bank of Montgomery, Kramer Funeral Home, Take 5 Oil Change, South Park Cleaners, and LaSalle Printing and Office Supply. Download the KLAX weather app for your smartphone or tablet. Get live current conditions, radar maps, alerts, and more. More ways to stay connected with KLAX TV.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Ross Whitley. Our radar and satellite quite active, not in our area, but just off to our west. And you can see plenty of rain moving through central Texas. This is a cold front that will be moving in our direction. And with that, we're going to have an enhanced chance at showers and storms for the day tomorrow. But as we zoom in a little bit closer, you can tell really still off to our east. We still have some showers and even occasional thunderstorms around Hattiesburg, moving slowly in our direction, basically where we thought we were going to see it. Points from Alexandria down to the south and east, and that will continue to kind of die out as we go into the overnight hours. Lose the heating of the day, we'll lose that instability, but with that cold front off to our west, we could see an increase in showers and storms for the day tomorrow. Now, that didn't help the heat at all out there today. We're at 91 in Alexandria, Natchitoches at 90, Monroe right there near the 90-degree mark. All of us actually sitting right at 90 or just below it, and that's well above average for this time of year. We should be around 86, but we are going to see those temperatures back in the forecast. We just got a couple more days before we get that cold front through and we see that drier air move in. 71 overnight tonight, partly cloudy, humid. Slight chance of an isolated shower or storm out there. You can see how slowly that cold front is progressing off to the east, so I don't think we'll see that rain in here until we get into tomorrow afternoon, where we'll see a better chance of showers and storms popping up. Now, partly sunny and very warm again for the day tomorrow to start out. As we get into the afternoon, we'll see those showers and storms really start to fire, especially off to our west, and then going into the overnight hours, we have a better chance of rain. And then we remain mostly sunny going into the day on Thursday as well, and very, very warm until that cold front can move on through. But looking at Friday, beautiful weather and definitely just a little bit cooler. Temperature's really not going to change a whole lot. We're going to go from 90 down to around 85, but with the dew points lowering, it's going to feel much, much better out there. High pressure system staying in control across the southeast for tomorrow. You can see the cold front breaking around that high pressure system. So this is where the dome of the warm air is. And right now it's all across the east. In between here and the other side of the cold front, about a 30-degree temperature change, definitely in places, but northern Arkansas will see much cooler temperatures. Not going to quite make it to us, but we get that cold front to suppress the steamy air down into the Gulf of Mexico, and cooler, drier air will be moving in our direction as we work into the weekend. But tomorrow, first, we're going to be looking at a 30 to 40% chance of afternoon showers and storms, near 91 once again. And our 7-day forecast, yeah, what everyone's looking forward to, the weekend. Looking at 87 degrees for Friday, 86 on Saturday. Much, much drier, much, much cooler, but it doesn't last because we actually get that ridge to build back in as we go into next week. So the humidity returns. Get out there and enjoy Friday and Saturday. Scott?
All right, thank you, Ross. Violence and guns, two things that cause many parents to lose sleep at night. Now, new research that looks at the possible influence of violent movies. With more, here's Lana Zach.
Whether on the big screen or in the news, we are inundated with images of guns in our day-to-day lives, and that means our kids are as well. But with an average of 7 children or adolescents in the U.S. dying from gun injuries every day, many are looking for ways to reduce the risk to our children. Now, new research is pointing to the influence of movies. Researchers at Ohio State University studied roughly 100 kids ages 8 to 12. Half were shown a movie depicting gun violence, the other half shown a movie without gun violence. The researchers then put these children into a room with toys and a real gun, modified, of course, not to fire, but kids could still pull the trigger. The results, monumental. Kids who watched the movie with gun violence pulled the trigger not just once, not twice, but 22 times more than the children who saw a movie without gun violence. As always, researchers recommend anyone with guns at home should keep them locked up, and parents should teach their children about the dangers of firearms, especially if they're watching movies with guns.
Quick last check of our forecast.
Yeah, cooler temperatures arriving by Friday and Saturday, but don't get used to them. Not going to last. As we head into next week, we'll see the temperatures warming back up.
All right, thanks, Ross. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
All right.
Hi, everybody. This is the voice of the Tigers, Jim Hawthorne, inviting you to watch Inside LSU Football, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors on this affiliate of the LSU Sports Television Network every week during the season. We'll have all the highlights, exclusive locker room access you won't see anywhere else, and features that will give you the inside story on your Fighting Tigers football team.
Inside LSU Football. Join us Sundays at 10 on KLAX TV. Brought to you in part by Randy Wiggins, State Farm agent.
Only one doctor brings health right to your home. Dr. Oz.
Every day is a new chance for change, and everyone can start right now.
With all new ways to feel encouraged, inspired, hopeful, confident, proud, positive, special. Feel better every day. Make an appointment with Dr. Oz. Check in for your daily checkup.
Dr. Oz, airing weekdays at 11 on KLAX TV.